Hello and welcome to another episode of News of the Week. And today I have news of the week that is not news from the mainstream media or even social media or YouTube or anything like that, but it's news to me. And I don't know if you ever had that where you actually do something or have been doing something for quite a while. Like in this case, I've actually been involved with it and doing it for years actually. And not really necessarily knowing it by the name that it's maybe known now or officially known or what it's really called. So I want to talk to you for just a few minutes about something I learned this week, and that is investing in what I learned this week, security tokens. So you have probably heard about crypto and Bitcoin and Ethereum and tokens and stuff like that here and there without necessarily fully understanding what is going on there really. And I have always said what we want to do when we are investing in our residential real estate is put the cash flow, the net cash flow that comes out of each of our investments in a place where it's not just sitting in like a savings account, especially, I mean, it's gotten a little better, but especially when the interest that you got on a savings account was like 0.25% or something like that. And two places where I think we need to look is what is the return of investment when we put our cash flow somewhere, and then how easily is it accessible. So since we are diving and mainly focusing on investing in residential real estate, mainly single family homes, you would think the best thing would be if we could also put the cash flow into single family homes. But that's obviously hard because if we had enough cash flow to buy another property, then we would do that rather than just parking the cash flow. So I have oftentimes said parking the cash flow to accumulate more money together, bring it together with our monthly contributions from our income to generate enough money to make another down payment for the next investment property is a good thing. And if we can somehow do it in a way that is also real estate related, that would be great. And one place to do this, and we have been doing this for quite a while, is called Lofty.ai. And that's a platform where we basically have the option for $50 a month to buy tokens. And the news is actually that I learned that these are most likely security tokens. And why are they called security tokens and not like what we hear in the media, especially when we're talking about crypto or Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of these other ones, Dogecoin or what have you? What is the difference? And what I learned today, or what I learned this week in a podcast interview, is actually that the difference is with the security tokens, number one, they are secured by something. So if, for example, like on Lofty, the platform is putting a bid out to buy a property somewhere on 123 Main Street. Then as soon as the property is identified and purchased, basically a contract is signed, an LLC is created, and let's say 10,000 shares are created or 5,000 shares. And they're not really shares in the traditional sense, they are tokens. And each token is worth $50. Then we can all spend $50 increments to buy these tokens. But the point, why are they called security tokens, is because the house itself is the security. The other big difference is in the crypto world, if you have Bitcoin or any kind of other crypto, you want to put your tokens in a wallet, and even though security tokens are put in a wallet too, and there is a similar way of tracking each transaction. The problem is if you don't remember for some reason or can't recall the password to your wallet, then you're kind of screwed. You can't get to it anymore. With security tokens, there is a track record of every transaction, so the activity can be redone. And for example, if you want to make sure when a property that we bought and you bought tokens in the property and now that property gets sold, then all these tokens that were originally created should be destroyed. And again, there needs to be a record to know who owns exactly how many tokens. So in that sense, it's a little bit more traditional. The benefit of the crypto wallet and having this really, really long password is that it's totally private and nobody can ever really get to your assets. The detriment is if you somehow forget this 26-word long password, then you're screwed. Whereas with security tokens, it's not quite as secure in the sense of access, because if somebody in the company can recreate the transaction and you can recreate the transaction, there's always a threat that others could do the same, right? So it's not quite the same way. It's not quite as isolated just to you as a person, but the big benefit is that you will never really lose the access to these security tokens. So the news of this week is I learned that what we have been doing in our cash flow parking on Lofty or similar platforms is actually investing into security tokens. And if you had joined me before and doing the same thing for your cash flow parking, you also now know that you're actually investing in security tokens. So stay safe, be well, and I talk to you next week.